So I didn't have to do any t-perms, so I'll do another example solve. So here's my next example solve. We have a bar in white, but these don't match, so it isn't a correct bar. Let's say this is right. We can actually pair this up with that. This is above its slot, but instead of doing the first algorithm over and over again, we can just insert it because we won't mess anything up. So we can simply do an R prime to put it in here. Next, we can put this one into there. The reds match up. So I gotta put it over its spot like this and do the first one over and over. Now we have the final white here, which needs to go there. So we put it above its spot and do the same algorithm. Now we have 0 yellows on top, so we need to put 0, 1, 2, 1 goes there. So we can do a U to put 1 there. Now we do the soon. Now we have 1 yellow on top, so we put it where it is. And because 0, 1, 2, 1, and do the soon now. We can see that we have another yellow here, so we will be able to complete yellow this time. We didn't skip the last step this time, so yay. We have the correct corners already in their place, and they're already to the left. Now we need to switch these two right corners with the t-perm. And those are my example solves for the beginner method. After learning and practicing the method I just taught you, you might want to get faster or take less moves. This is my next tutorial for intermediate solves, which is just slightly harder than the beginner method. In intermediate, solving white isn't any different, but I will go over some tips that will help you solve it faster. When you're in this case, where you have one facing towards you and it's above its slot, if you use the original algorithm I taught you, it will take 5 turns until you put it in. And you might notice it always ends on the case where it's on the right, like this. See? But there is a way to make this case faster. You simply hold this to the left so it's not facing towards you and do the lefty version of the original algorithm. It goes like this: L prime, U prime, L, U, and it's solved in 1 turn. This case, it's the same thing again. It would originally take 5 of the righty version, but if you do it lefty, it only takes 1. Also, in this case, it takes 2 turns. So, it's not facing towards you, it's facing towards the right. So, 2 turns will solve it. But, for the other version of this, where it isn't there, but it's there, it takes 4. You can use the same trick as we did last time. Hold it to the left and do the lefty version twice to make it faster. Next on intermediate is solving yellow, or OLL, orienting last layer. My first example is one you probably already know, where you have one on top like this and one connected to it. This can be solved with a soon. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. The next case is just like this soon case, except there's no yellow here when the one on top is there. You hold it like this and then do the anti-soon, which goes like this. R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime. It's just like the soon but in reverse. The next case is when you have two on top in a bar and another bar on the side. You need to put the upper bar like this so that the lower bar is on the left, and then do this next algorithm. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. The next case is when you have a bar here and no bars on the top, and a dot here or there. You put the bottom bar on the left, kind of like last case, and do a very similar algorithm. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. The next case is when you have two bars across from each other in the lower part. To solve this, you put either bar in the front and do, again, a similar algorithm. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. For this next case, you have a bar on top and a dot here or there. To solve this, you need to hold the bar on the right and do this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime. The last four moves of that algorithm, R prime, F, R, F prime, is a series of moves called the sledgehammer. This is very important and will be used a lot in other cubes, such as the Scube. The final OLL is when you have two opposite yellows on top. This can be solved by holding it like so, where you have a dot here. And then you do this algorithm. F, R prime, F prime, R, U, R, U prime, R prime. For intermediate last step, or PLL, permutating last layer, there's only one algorithm to teach. It's the algorithm for when there's a diagonal swap. Normally, you would do two T-perms, but the Y-perm solves it in just one algorithm. Hold it so that these two need to be switched and do this algorithm. F, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime, and then this OLL, which goes like R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime. That's the Y-perm. And that's all for the intermediate level. Next is advanced, where I'll be teaching Ortega. But before we move on to advanced, I have to do two intermediate example solves. So here's the first one. So here is my first intermediate solve. I'm going to use white for simplicity. This orange-blue connects with this blue-red, so it's already over the spot. I can do a lefty soon. No, not lefty soon. just a lefty, R, U, R prime, U prime, to connect those in one. Next, I can put this in there with that because that doesn't mess anything up. Put it over its spot, R, U, R prime, U prime. I actually got a skip, lucky me. Connect the solve corners to the bottom part. I need to do a T-perm here to just switch those two. That was an easy solve. Now on to the next example solve. For this solve, I don't have any bars, so I'll just start on white again. This and those match, so I can do U2 to put it over its spot, and just like this to put it in, because I don't have anything to mess up yet. Let me put the green orange over its spot to match with that orange. Then I can do the lefty version to make it only one. Right here, it's over its spot. Ready version for this. Now, we have this lowercase. This is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and a T prime to switch these two. Now we're actually on to advanced. The first step of the Ortega method is to solve white, just like we've been doing. Except you can solve white any way you like. It doesn't have to have these bars around it, as long as 4 white pieces are here. Here's an example. Here, it's scrambled. All we gotta do is just put white pieces together. So I can connect these two. Put this in there, and I can put that there. This is still okay to have. It doesn't need to be completely right. For the next step, you will need to do OLL like intermediate. You can also do it like beginner, but it's just faster to do intermediate. So this case is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. The final step is where it's different from the original method. Since you can solve white wrong, you have many more options for PLL. Instead, it's called PBL, permutate both layers. In this case, you put the bar in front, and then you need to switch diagonals on the bottom and those two on the top. Then you do this. R, U prime, R, F2, R prime, U, R prime. If you need to do a T-perm on both sides, put the 2 bars together, they don't have to be the same color, and put them in the back. Then do this algorithm. R2, U prime, R2, U2. Y, which is moving like a U, except it's a rotation, R2, U prime, R2. And the final new case is where you have 2 diagonal swaps, so 2 Y perms. To solve this, it's really simple. It's just R2, F2, R2. If you get a T-perm on the bottom or anything else, then just pretend it's the top now, and then do a regular T-perm. Those are all the PBL cases. And now, onto the advanced example solves. Now this is the first advanced example solve with Ortega. Let me just scramble it. So all you have to do is find a bar, and then you can just build off of it. I could solve it with yellow, green, white, but I'll just stick with white. This one I can insert like that, and this one is just this. This case, again, same with the intermediate. And now I just have this, hold like this. You can do F2 like this, it's faster.